There's a pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello, BookTube. I'm Shawn the Book Maniac, and this is my mom, Helen the Book Maniac.
Hi, guys.
By popular demand, we didn't think we were going to make a mom video while I was out here in Canada, in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, but you have demanded it, so here we are. So we've got a stack of books to talk about. What have you got first?
First of all, I've got Debbie McComber's book, The Shop on Blossom Street. And as a note of interest, we got this book yesterday at the most inconvenient store in Saskatchewan.
Bookstore, yeah.
Yeah. And you can hardly get in it. You can hardly get around it. But anyway, this one, I must have been just drawn to it because it's about knitting. And I'm a knitter, and I love novels about knitting where people are talking about knitting and setting up shops and their lives around so on and so forth. So I haven't read it at all, but I'm looking forward to it. Like the cover, The Shop on Blossom Street.
Okay, so first of all, there will be, I don't know, this video will probably go up before my vlog, for the Doris vlog tag, but I have extended footage of that bookstore. It's in a small town in Saskatchewan, and it's one of the most cluttered, messiest used bookstores I've been to. The media coverage was quite positive, but I like a messy bookstore, and I was almost disgusted by it.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
But
you couldn't even get in it.
It was an adventure, but Mom found this. And then the second thing is, Peg is a knitter. You know, she.
Okay, hi, Peg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Peg.
Yeah.
And
hi, Peg. Hello.
She is joining in on some reading and knitting challenge on BookTube, happening this month or this week or something. So, Peg, Mom just said she likes books about knitting. So, Peg, you must have some recommendations for her. Please put them in the comment section below. Those two things.
That would be lovely.
Yes.
Put them in the comment below, Peg. I love knitting books.
There was a great video, which I haven't shown you yet, Peg wishing Kenji and I happy 1-year anniversary.
Okay.
Reminiscing about being here a year ago this week.
Right. Yes, it's been lovely to celebrate their anniversary.
Yes.
Lovely to celebrate their anniversary. So we picked some books off. I read this one last year. It's called They Left Us Everything, and it's a Canadian writer, Plum Johnson.
Plum Johnson.
Plum Johnson, that's her name. Isn't that an interesting name? They Left Us Everything, and it was just so much hit home because it was about the house that her mother left her that was a hoarder's house, and it took her, I don't know, 2 or 3 years to clean it out. But the book was just, it was all about getting rid of stuff, and it was quite wonderful. And then all of the emotional attachments, too, that she had to getting rid of the stuff.
So this is nonfiction.
It's
a true story.
It's a true story. Yeah. It's a true story. Yeah.
And where did this all happen?
That happened, I believe it was outside of Toronto. It was in Ontario. Yeah. It was at a big house on a lake.
Published in 2014.
2014, yes.
I think Mary Jean was
Mary Jean was the one that left me that book and recommended that book.
Hello, Mary Jean.
Thanks, Mary Jean.
Great. Yeah, I'd like to read it someday.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Right.
Okay, and we have The Lighthouse Keeper's Daughter. I'm not really good at remembering books after I read them. Now, this one I read in the spring, and I really enjoyed it.
And it's by Hazel Gaynor.
Gaynor, yes.
This is a novel.
It's a novel. It was about a young woman that her father was a lighthouse keeper, and she used to help him a lot. And when he became ill and when he died, she wondered whether or not she was going to be able to keep this lighthouse. And the story kind of evolves. There was a young man that she met that, and it's kind of a long, complicated love story of how they got together. But I did enjoy the complication of the story.
She lives in Ireland, but I wonder, is she Irish?
Hazel Gaynor?
I guess we'll just assume she's Irish. She lives in Ireland. Was the story in Ireland?
No.
Okay, so
The story was set. I thought that the story
in
was,
Northumberland, England.
Yeah.
1838.
Yeah.
But so she may
Well,
be
it went
British.
back and forth. Yeah,
Okay,
the
and
lighthouse.
Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
100 years later.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was one of those stories that goes back and forth a little bit historically, but mostly it was set in the modern day.
And
Yeah.
have you read anything else by her?
I've got one on the go
The
right
Cottingley
now.
Secret?
No,
So you liked it well enough that
I
you
liked it.
wanted to.
I liked it very
Okay.
much. So
There's a lot of novels about lighthouses.
and this one was really. There was another one that I read, Lighthouse. Oh, I've not-
Lindy gave me one. It's by Jeanette Winterson, and I can't remember the title, but it's about a lighthouse keeper as well.
and this was the lighthouse keeper's daughter, but
Yeah.
she grew up in the story. She grew up on the lighthouse and loved to run the lighthouse. Oh, it seems to me that there's something more in it about finding somebody was lost in a storm.
You've
That was the part that was back 100 years ago.
Oh.
Somebody was lost in a storm, and the lighthouse.
The titles here by her that are mentioned are The Cottingley Secret, The Girl from the Savoy, A Memory of Violets, and The Girl Who Came Home.
I'm just starting The Girl from Savoy.
Okay.
And it's very different. It's set in the 19 teens, around the war times, and it's set in England at the Savoy Hotel. It's a maid, a housemaid, and I've just started it, so I think that there's a lot more to it. She's obviously lost a lover, I think, in the war. And oop, that's my dog, just making a big racket. Adding to the story. Yeah, so I've just started the other one by Hazel Gaynor. Yeah.
Great.
And I know I'm going to enjoy it. I like Hazel Gaynor. I like the way she writes.
I've been working on my mum to read some Barbara Pym, and the first one that you read was A Glass of Blessings. That was the page 112 tag you did a year and a half ago, and you've read it. And then you heard me talking about the last one I read, which is called A Few Green Leaves. And you found it on Scribd. And how was that?
I liked it very much. It's
She
I
liked
like
it better
Barbara.
than I did.
I liked it better than he did. But I do get a kick out of Barbara Pym. She just sort of, the main character is kind of, well, she's not too happy about lots of things in life, and it's kind of, but it's set sort of so that the classes of people don't matter,
Yeah.
and what you wear doesn't matter, and what's important to people. There's some people that like to be alone a lot and that they don't want to be part of a group or whatever. Barbara Pym's kind of good at setting that all up, and I think the first book that I read, I thought, oh, it's kind of plain, there isn't anything exciting happening in it. But Shawn talked about Barbara Pym, and I kind of thought, yeah, I kind of like that whole idea of it not being...
And A Glass of Blessings is one of her few novels in which the main character is a married woman, as opposed
That's
to a
true.
single one.
Yeah, she's a married woman,
Yeah.
but she doesn't
act like
she
it.
kind of carries on with her best friend's husband, like, and then she has another guy on the
Well,
side.
but I don't think it ever goes anywhere
No.
like it would if the novel was written this decade. But she certainly
Flirts.
Yeah.
Carries out, goes to lunch with these guys.
falls in love with a gay guy.
Yeah. Yep. Is kind of disgusted when he moves to a different place.
Yeah.
She's quite, and it's quite churchy. It's involved with her church. Yep, she does a lot at the church. And it talks a lot about the priests or the officiants there and how they kind of, some of them are okay and some of them
usually the main character falls in love with one or two of them.
Yeah.
Now, I would say not churchy because Barbara Pym was religious, but her novels are not religious. They're church-centered often, but very secular.
But her community, a lot of her community revolves around church.
And there's an atheist in almost every novel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really balanced out that way.
Yeah, and I mean, she is part of her community revolves around the church, but she has all these criticisms of all these people that are involved and how they're really, not really the best people in the world. Anyway, this one.
This is my copy that I have never taken to Tokyo, so maybe you'll give this a try next.
I will.
No Fond Return of Love.
I probably will.
This is about
I think I'm going to read.
single middle-aged ladies. Hilarious.
Yeah, she's got quite the sense of humor.
I have got maybe 3 in this edition. This edition is, softcover edition is by Moyer Bell, a publisher that I've never heard the name, in Kingston, Rhode Island and London. I think they're gorgeous. I've got 3 so far.
They're very beautiful. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can't get it on Amazon, because I find it, at my age, I find it hard to read a book like this. Like the print is not really that big, and it's not that.
Because you read a lot at night.
I do,
In
and
bed,
even in the daytime, I find that the e-readers, I read with the black background and the white print, and I find it much easier to read. And I don't want to get Shawn's book all messed up.
No, you better not.
Oh boy, I don't want to get in trouble like that.
No Fond Return of My Barbara Pym book. Now, I pulled one off your shelf because I heard one of my dear friends from BookTube, Karen of Run Right Reads. She lives in New York City. She read this novel, and I remember that it was on your shelf. The Story of Edgar Sawtelle by David Robluski. And you have just told me that you haven't got to it yet.
No, I don't even know where I got it.
Oh.
I haven't got a clue.
It's a chunkster. It is.
Is it one that we got at the secondhand bookstore?
I don't know. It's 560 pages.
Well, if it's a good story, I'd like it. It wouldn't matter.
Robleski is from rural Wisconsin. And the story here is set there.
Okay.
And it is about a deaf-mute man named Edgar Sawtelle. Growing up with his parents in northern Wisconsin, it looks like, on the farm. So it's a farm novel.
Oh.
That's enough for me.
That's enough for me, too. Well, then I'll take a read of it. Yeah, I will really, I'll look forward to that. You're not taking it back yet?
No, not if you haven't read it, but maybe I can find a copy and we can discuss it the next time I come home.
Oh, okay.
Because I know Karen quite enjoyed it.
It wouldn't be on...
Karen, do you think that I would like this book? And how about my mom? Do you think she would like it?
If it's a farm story,
Yeah.
I likely would like
Anybody else read The Story of Edgar Sawtelle by David Robluski?
Don't we?
Sweating.
I think we're going to have to edit off some of that.
And the last one is one you bought just the other day here in Saskatoon.
I bought it at the Wonder Hub of the children's...
It's a children's book.
Yeah, and the Wonder Hub is a children's... it's an amazing kind of a...
museum, entertainment space.
Yeah.
Science museum.
Science, yeah. But the book, the reason that I was very attracted to it, it's a book that's been written by Aboriginal people, maybe some Métis background, and the illustrations are at First Nation.
It says Métis, the story of a young Métis boy.
Yep.
Discovering his Métis heritage. So for non-Canadians, Métis, the simple definition of Métis is mixed race, Indigenous Canadian, and something else.
Usually, yeah.
Historically, it was started out as being French Indian, but now I think in order to qualify for that status, it doesn't have to be French, but some other European or something.
Yeah. But this one is written in both English and Cree.
Yes.
And that's the part that's very enlightening. Like, I'm really so pleased that now they're writing the stories in both languages.
So the top is English and the bottom is Cree. So I'm just going to hold the Cree up. There's the English. And there is the Cree. Is that centered?
Yep. I think it is. Yeah.
It's called Dancing in My Bones by Wilfred Burton and Anne Patton. Illustrated by Sherry Rassett. And the Michif translation by Norman Fleury. Have you looked at it at all?
I haven't looked at it at all, so I don't know. But I know that it's a fairly recent thing that there's been a lot of work done to have books done in both English and and the language that First Nation people might be, because there's an attempt for people to learn their languages in a way of learning to know who they are. So it's a story as well as a sort of a political attempt to make relations work with the interrelationship. The Cree is one of the Saskatchewan tribes. Yes.
Thank you, Mom.
All right. Good to talk to you, booktubers.
Thanks for watching.